our video.
What's good? What's good? Welcome back to our channel.
If you do not know who we are, I am Shanice, and this is my handsome husband, KO.
What's up?
And we're back to give you part 2 about where we've been and why come we have not given you guys a video. If you have not already, please like, comment, subscribe, share. Also, we would like to thank everyone who has subscribe to our channel. We have recently grown, and so we just want to say thank you guys so much for following us along in our journey.
Yeah, even in our absence.
Yes. Hopefully we will continue to put up videos that you like. We're still trying to figure out our content and stuff.
I think
we have an idea of where we want to go with our content.
Yeah.
And we noticed who we've been reaching out more to.
Yeah.
So we'll put a video out on that later on. But as of right now, we're just gonna go ahead and get. I'm sorry, babe. Are you trying to say something? I'm sorry. I'm so tired.
We're still gonna do what we want to do, though. I think that's key. All these people who are changing their lives around what type of people they want, stuff like that. I just realized that. I've realized why you started doing this, and it hit me right now. It's like, because it makes you feel better. Yeah. It really does. So
we're gonna go ahead and get into this video, and I probably will do majority of the talking in this video. But you guys want to know, where have we been? So let me go ahead and introduce to you guys where we've been. We have been everywhere. But no, seriously, we have recently went through another loss, and so we're going to go ahead and discuss that. So I'm going to go ahead and get right on into the video. So January 23rd, we found out that we are pregnant. And we'll go ahead and insert a clip of when I found out that we were pregnant. My husband was not with me when I found out that we were pregnant. And the reason why he was not with me was because I took a test randomly. I don't know what made me take the test, but I did it randomly, and I did it by myself. And I was so excited to find out I was pregnant. And I told one of my good friends that I was pregnant first. And she's more like an aunt to me more than a friend. So we're like family. But anyway, I had told her first. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Like, I'm pregnant. Like, for real, I'm really pregnant. And, talking about it, it gives me a little bit of joy again, because I remember finding out. I guess, like, my whole thing was when I found out that I was pregnant, I thought it was going to be, I was going to be crying and super excited. I was excited, but I was scared. So I didn't want to get too excited. I don't know if that makes sense or not. But I was like, okay, I'm pregnant, yay. But not yay, And so I didn't want to tell my husband. I wanted to surprise my husband in a special way. Because of everything that we had been through, and I felt like it would be awesome to surprise him. So I was supposed to surprise him on Valentine's Day, but I didn't get a chance to surprise him. I ended up telling him like a week after I found out I was pregnant. And the reason why is because we started to have some complications. And so I found out I was pregnant January 23rd. January 24th, I went into my doctor. And they confirmed my pregnancy. They gave me a progesterone shot, and they also prescribed progesterone pills for me. My nose is like kind of wet, I'm sorry. But anyway, they gave me progesterone pills that a way that, we can sustain the pregnancy. And so I was told that I need to go give blood work on Friday. So I found out on Tuesday night. On Wednesday, I went to go get my blood test done, and I went in to get a progesterone shot, and they also prescribed me progesterone pills. I had to take 400 milligrams of progesterone a day, so which was 2 pills, and I had to take them by mouth, just in case if you're wondering, because there's 2 different ways you can take progesterone. And so anyway, I was told by Dr. Anderson, my doctor, that I need to go in and on Friday and do more blood work. So my first HCG levels came back as a 64, and my second numbers came back as an 89. And so I received a phone call from the nurse, and the nurse was just telling me, hey, Dr. Anderson would like to see your numbers double, but you found out very early, and so we're just going to keep an eye out on it. Now, you guys, I found out I was pregnant literally like a week and a half, not even a week and a half, it was like a week after I ovulated. It was very early. Like, I hadn't even missed my cycle. I was literally like 2 weeks out from missing my cycle. And I don't know what made me take the test, but I took the test and it said I was pregnant. No, I was not pregnant before because we had did a trigger shot in December, and we had to test the shot out. So I knew I wasn't pregnant prior to me getting a positive pregnancy test. So January 10th, I ovulated. I ovulated the 10th and the 11th, and I found out I was ovulating because I felt like I was getting ready to start my cycle. And so I decided to take an ovulation test, and Lord and behold, I was ovulating on my own, which was super exciting. So, of course, we started, we baby danced. And I also ovulated again on the 15th, which is crazy. But I ovulated again on the 15th, and so, of course, we baby danced. And so, yeah, I ended up getting a positive pregnancy test. So, after I did my blood count that Friday, I was told to wait until Monday to go back in to get blood work done. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. But my nurse was like, well, I just want you to understand that your levels are not rising, so you're probably going to miscarry, but we don't want to say that right now because you're so early. Again, we don't know what's going to happen. So I'm being positive, and at this time, I'm like, okay, I have to tell my husband, that I'm pregnant. Like, this is not good news, and I don't want him to find out after, everything is not good anymore, And so, I still kept a secret. I still kept a secret until that following Monday. I was supposed to go in and get blood work done, which I did, and my numbers came back at 119. So I get a call from the nurse, and she's just like, hey, your numbers came back as a 119. We don't think that this is going to be a viable pregnancy. Dr. Anderson wants you to go ahead and continue to take your progesterone, but we think that you're going to miscarry. And I'm like, why do y'all keep saying y'all think I'm going to miscarry? I'm super early. I still have not missed my cycle yet. We don't know how far along I am. Like, I don't know how many weeks I am. I just know it's super early. Like, why come y'all are telling me to prepare myself for a miscarriage when I know that God has the last say and God is able to do whatever? He has the last say. That's all I kept saying to myself, was just to stay positive. So at this time, I got down. I'm not gonna lie to you, ladies. I was down. I was crying. I was really upset. I was so upset. I was bawling, crying in the parking lot at my job because I just felt like this is the worst news ever. Before I told my husband, I did tell our pastor at the church so that he could pray over me because, I was very nervous And so he laid hands on me. He made sure he prayed over me. Him and his wife and his son and his daughter-in-law, they all prayed over me, to keep me going and to give me the extra strength that I needed. So I had a whole team of people praying behind us, you guys. Like, we didn't do this alone.
No.
We had people praying for us
here and there,
and motivating us, calling and checking on us, the people that we wanted to know.
That was great.
And so I'm gonna get into how people knew. So I find out from the nurse this pregnancy may not be valuable, and so at this point I'm highly upset. I'm at work. I call my husband. I'm bawling, crying. And my husband's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm just like, I'm like, I can't get out what I'm trying to say. I'm just like so upset.
I was like, okay, first off, well, I had to step in the hallway. Usually I just take the call at my desk, and I was like, nah, what's going on? And so the first thing, after making some sense of what she was saying, was like, it was just kind of like open-ended questions, And so then I just stepped in the hallway, and the first thing I was like, are you okay? She's like, no. And then I was like, you don't never just flat out tell me no, you're not okay, Mm-hmm. And then so the second thing, that was first red flag. Second red flag was, I said, okay, you want me to just come now? I can just come right now. And for me, usually our thing is I'm really quick and headstrong to go do something, and I usually use her to calm me down. Not in the wrong, like I do the wrong thing. It's just I always quick to jump to something. And for her answer was to that, do you want me to come down? She's like, if you want to. If I want to. That was how I took that. I was like, oh no, second red flag.
Knew something was wrong with me.
I said, I'm coming down.
Well, I was crying too as I'm talking to him.
I went back to the desk, logged off, and then just ran down the stairs, a couple of flights of stairs, and I didn't think about the elevator. And I just ran straight to the car, and then I got there in like 5-6 minutes.
About 8 minutes. Because I had called one of my friends to pray with me. I didn't really tell them what was wrong. I was just like, hey, I'm having a bad day. I really need you to pray for me. And I'm just bawling as she's praying for me. And as she's praying for me, I see KO pulling up. And he sees me out in the parking lot crying, of course. And he's looking at me like, what is wrong with her?
My first thought was like, oh my God, she got fired. What happened?
He's like looking at me like, what is wrong? And he's like mouthing to me, what's wrong with you? And of course, I'm just like, oh my God.
Mind you, she's being kind of secretive on the phone. So my alternative thought was like, is this it? Is she done with me? Okay.
So as I'm bawling, crying, I go in there and get my stuff, and I get into the car, and I'm just like, hey, I need you to pull over. I need to talk to you. I'm not going to be able to make it till we get home, so I'm going to have to tell you now because I'm very upset at this point.
And that was the third red flag.
So he's like, well, what's wrong? And I'm just like, I'm pregnant. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I'm pregnant, and of course I'm crying.
And so that was mixed emotions, mixed messages for me.
Because he's like, okay, I'm happy. Why are you crying? And I'm like, I'm pregnant. And it's just, they told me that.
And she didn't have to stop her. I said, baby, you don't even have to tell me. I already understand automatically that worst case scenario, we might not keep a baby. But I'm happy because you got pregnant, And let me pause for the guys right now. The guys that are out there, I want you to pay attention to my reaction. It's not about me like jumping for joy or whatever, or trying to avoid saying the wrong thing. My point was that I focused on the positive of the situation. And I don't know if she noticed it at that point or not, but I made effort to want to focus on the fact that I put my interests last. Although we may not keep a child, before she even told me, I perceived it. Although we may not keep a child, our first step was taken, and it was a successful step. We got pregnant, and that was overjoyous enough for me.
Yeah, because we haven't been pregnant since 2013, and so it's now 2019. And so he's super excited, and I'm like, no excitement. Like, this is what they're telling me. And, you know, again, depending on what man says and not God, you know, I'm upset, I'm boohoo crying, and my husband's just like super excited, and I'm just like, you're not getting it, dude. Why are you happy? Like, no. And, you know, to be honest with you, I needed him to be happy. And so, you know, after I finished crying, you know, he told me, you know, babe, we're in this together. I'm excited. You know, God has the last say, not man. Your numbers went up. Like, this is the furthest we've ever been. You should be super excited. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're right. And so we kind of hesitated on if we wanted to tell people or not. And so we did both agree that we would tell one. I would let him tell my brother, because my brother and he were best friends.
No, that was the second person. When we got to the first person, we wanted prayer warriors on the situation.
Right. Well, I'm saying, like, he wanted to tell one friend, and that was my brother.
Outside of the prayer warriors.
Yeah, outside the prayer warriors. And then we made sure that we told our mothers.
Yes.
So our mothers knew, especially my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law knew first before my mommy. Sorry, Mom, I know you're watching this. But my mother-in-law knew first because her son can't keep a secret. And he had to tell somebody. And so he told my mother-in-law first, and my mother-in-law was ecstatic. She could not. She wanted to tell so bad, and I was like, no, you know, not right now, because the news that we're getting is kind of sketchy. I don't want you to tell anybody, because then I don't want to have to explain what happened after, if anything bad was to happen, even though I shouldn't have been thinking like that. But again, ladies, you understand how I'm feeling, because trying for so long and having different, you know, miscarriage after miscarriage after miscarriage, it's hard for you just to be positive. And so,
that's when we told your mom after that.
Yeah, we told my mom.
Sure enough, the same reason we were, you know, sometimes there's that thing where you don't say and you know. And so she even said to herself, as soon as you told her,
yeah, my mom wanted to tell other people.
Why you tell me? You shouldn't have told me.
Yeah.
I was doing this in the background.
She's like, you shouldn't tell me because I can't tell people. And
I told you so.
You can't tell people, Mom. You got to keep it to yourself.
It's just like, I don't know how.
And so after we talked to my mom and his mom, they're just like, we don't know how we're gonna keep this secret, but you know, they respected us and they kept the secret. And my lovely husband wanted to tell his sisters, and I was like, no, we're not going to tell your sisters.
Okay, we did.
So we didn't tell for a while. At this point, I'm about maybe 3 weeks pregnant, 3 to 4 weeks, 3 weeks pregnant. I'll say about 4, because then we ended up telling my sister-in-law.
Everything started happening really fast.
Because everything went fast. Like once the nurse told me the news, and she told me, and I was upset. From there, everything was just like boom, boom, boom. So we had to wait for more blood work. We went and got blood work done. My numbers kept rising, and so it went from a 119, and then I went from 119 to 266. And so my numbers were good, you know, and everything was going good. It was just going. I think what frustrated me the most was because I kept going to my doctor's appointments, but they were not telling me what we were looking for. They just kept saying, oh, we're taking blood. I'm like, okay, when am I going to get an ultrasound? Like, when am I going to get a sonogram? When am I going to Like, what are we doing? I don't know what we're doing. You know, this is the furthest I've ever been. Can you guys explain to me what we're doing? Cause I'm confused. Like, what? Okay, like I need to tell my husband what we need to do.
New territory.
At this time, you know, we're getting ready to move, and so as we're getting ready to move, I'm keeping a secret because before I told him I was pregnant, we were already in the middle of moving, and I knew I couldn't move stuff, so I had to tell him a little fib. So I was like, oh, I can't lift this because I hurt my back. Or, oh, like I would just kind of make up stuff along the way so that he wouldn't know.
It's relative, so it's not necessarily a lie. It's relative.
But I just didn't want him to know. And so, like, I mean, yeah, like we were supposed to be packing. So we wasn't moving just yet, but we were packing to move.
But honestly, to be very honest with you, most of the time, I'm not saying you don't do anything, but most of the time, we do the packing together, but most of the heavier stuff, like and not even just heavy, the tedious stuff, like the DVDs, boxing that stuff, we box it, you know.
Yeah.
But
It just, I was packing stuff, but I wasn't touching heavy stuff, and so I ended up, like, you know, when I ended up telling him, y'all, my husband wouldn't let me do nothing. He wouldn't let me drive. He didn't want me going to the store by myself. He didn't want me picking up any plates. He didn't want me doing nothing, like, at all. I'm like, babe, I still gotta live life. He's like, nah, you gotta be on bed rest. Don't you do nothing. So from the time I got home, my husband made sure I laid down until the next following day. Like, I could only take a shower. I could only eat.
I didn't do that, dude.
Yes, you really did. He wanted to make sure everything was safe because we were already getting, like, kind of bad news. And so everything went really good. We ended up moving and stuff. And so, the week, February 7th, I believe it was February 7th, I started bleeding. And so it was light pink, and of course I got scared. My husband wasn't too scared because he was just like, you know, hey, I think it's just implantation bleeding. And I'm like, yeah, maybe you're right. So I call and make a doctor's appointment, and because when I went to work, the bleeding got red, like not like, it was like a bright red, but it was a little bit of streaks. So sorry. So my doctor was like, if you have any kind of bleeding, I need you to come in right away. I need you to call me. I don't care what I'm doing. You know, you need to call. So I'm like, okay. So I called him like, hey, I'm spotting. There's a little bit of redness in it. At first it was pink. Now it's starting to have a little bit of redness. And they're like, okay, we need you to come in. You guys, when I called and told the nurse this, the new nurse that's in my doctor's office, she told me that I was getting ready to miscarry and the baby was getting ready to pass. I was so pissed. I was so upset. I was like, how could you tell me that over the phone? Like, who does that? I mean, you guys, when I tell you I was fighting mad at this lady, like, when I saw her, I didn't say 2 words to her because I was so upset. And I didn't want to, excuse me, I know I'm a Christian, but I did not want to say bad words to her because she really made me mad. And my husband know I was very upset. And so I saw my doctor, and my doctor's just like, oh my gosh, Shanice, you're complicated. We don't know. You know, we just got to be patient. I know you have some bleeding, but it's too early to see anything. At this time, I'm supposed to be 5 weeks. At this time, like 5 weeks and a couple of days. So we did an ultrasound, and we're like right at 5 weeks.
What's up with this picture? It's a horrible picture.
That's bad. But sorry. Anyway, we're right at 5 weeks, and so that's nasty.
What is going on?
Sorry, y'all.
I'm overanalyzing it now.
I just wish it hurry up and go to a different screen.
Anyway.
But yeah, so at this point, I go in. She tries to do an ultrasound. She's just like, it's too early to see, but we're gonna bring you in next week when you're, 6 weeks. Hopefully, we can see something. I don't know though, because your beta is supposed to be over 2,500 at this point, or at least close to it, and you're still at 266. So
they're brushing his teeth. They're brushing
okay, baby. So at this point, my beta is like 266 still, and so she's just like, I don't think that this is going to be a viable pregnancy again. I know I've been saying that since the beginning, but you're a sweet girl. I want you to understand that you got pregnant on your own, and don't worry. And so I'm just like devastated because I waited 3 hours for her to give me bad news. Plus, before that, I spoke to her raggedy nurse who was rude to me. And so I was just all upset. And so February 8th, I started bleeding a little bit more. And then the 10th came, and then
we knew at this point.
Yeah.
We were in denial, heavy denial.
I mean, the 9th came, then the 10th. So
but we were super heavy denial.
Yeah, we didn't want to believe it, but we knew it.
We were good.
Well, we wanted to be good. So on February 10th is when I went to the hospital because I started bleeding a lot. I started having this really, really bad pain, you guys. And so they did my blood work, and my HCG levels came back lower. It went from 266 to 175. And so at this point, it's, they told me I was miscarrying. And so we were devastated. We took a week off from work, we just kind of...
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. We just took off from work. We was trying to deal with it on our own. And so, yeah, that's our story. We ended up miscarrying at 6 weeks exact, right? 6 weeks and I think it's exactly like 6 weeks and some days.
What was the most devastating part for you?
The hardest part was because our the due date was going to be around the time that my father-in-law had passed away. And I felt like, I felt like our baby would have been like a wonderful gift, like, after everything that we've been through. And so it didn't turn out that way, and we can talk about it now. I think we've had enough time to process it. But at this point, we're just trying to figure out what we want to do next, if we want to continue or not. I personally am just like, the older I get, the more I'm just like, I don't know if I can do this. And right now, talking about it, my anxiety is like really bad, and my heart is racing really hard right now. And it's just like, I'm like, I don't know anymore. I don't know.
What, do you have anything, well, before we get there, there have been other options presented to us and stuff like that.
Yes.
Even on tonight.
Yeah, but I don't.
We still have to go over that stuff.
Yeah, I'm still like, I don't want to talk about babies. I don't want, like,
Speaking of, what's one of the things?
Friends that just recently had babies, or we were invited to baby showers and stuff. So a lot of people do not know we had a miscarriage, and so this video is gonna let you guys know what's been going on with us and why we've been MIA. And so I just want to say this before we cut this video off, because I know it's long, I'm sorry, but please be mindful what you say to people, what you say to couples who do not have kids. You do not know their situation. You don't know if they struggle with infertility. You don't know if they want kids. You don't know. And so it's so annoying when people constantly ask you, when are you going to have kids? When you're going to have kids? Because some people like to talk about infertility and some people do not. Just be mindful when you ask people that question, because it's not easy for everybody to conceive. It's not easy for people to start a family right away like how they think they're going to do it. You know, we've been in this struggle for 8 years now, and you know, it's taking a toll on us. It's taking a toll on our marriage, and it's just like, it's hard. And so I wanted to make that be known. Like, do not ask me. I'm trying to say it in the politest way. Do not ask me or my husband, when are we going to have kids? Because we will have kids when God says it's the right time. And even though we may not understand why we're going through what we're going through, God chose us to go on this journey, and He chose us to give our testimony to other couples, and other couples to give their testimony to us. So if it takes us 12 years, 15 years, whatever the case may be, I'm hoping not. But if it do, that is what God had planned for us.
Yes.
And once we do have our baby, we know that we are going to do the very best to be the best parents that we can be. Yeah. But until then, please stop asking us.
And our journey has been portrayed upon our YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. And you can always go back and watch those things to see if you want more in-depth perception on couples like us, that have infertility issues. And our journey forward, mm-hmm. what we decide to do in our future. If you choose to continue to watch it with us, you can always subscribe.
We would love for you to subscribe and follow us.
Definitely.
You guys only have 2 classes left, and then I will finally be out of school with my bachelor's degree. Yeah. My husband's on a break, so I'm feeling like once my bachelor degree is done, I'll be able to vlog more. But we're hurt, but please understand that we have done everything possible to heal for us to move forward.
But we're growing, and we have grown.
Yes. So even though we're still hurt, it doesn't bother us as much, because we know that we
serve a higher purpose.
Yeah. We know that God is going to bless us when the time is right.
Yes.
And so on that note, we're going to go ahead and end this video, because we're already at like 32 minutes in. But thank you guys so much again for following us. Please like, comment, share this video. And if you have any questions for
definitely
us,
put them down.
Yes.
Because we want to, we're going to go ahead and do a question and answer thing.
Yeah, we're going to do a question and answer thing.
We're going to gather all your questions and put them in a box, put them in strips, mm-hmm. and we're going to put them
and
up.
if you want to know how we conceived, like I ovulated on my own, but we also had some stuff along in the way of how we conceived. So if you want to know that, please go ahead and comment below.
All right, guys.
All right, we'll talk to y'all later.
We appreciate y'all.
Bye.
Peace.